Hi, I'm Chuck.
And I'm Mary, and we're both engineers. We're here today to introduce a hands-on challenge that you can try at home.
Here's the challenge. Design and build a boat that paddles itself using a rubber band as its power source.
This challenge uses energy from a rubber band. So let's talk about energy. Potential energy is stored energy. It's energy ready to go, but not yet moving. A car parked at the top of the hill has potential energy. A stretched rubber band has potential energy.
Kinetic energy is energy in motion. Whenever something moves, it has kinetic energy. A car rolling down a hill has kinetic energy, and a flying rubber band has kinetic energy.
We'll be using both potential energy and kinetic energy to power our boat.
Let me show you how your paddle will work. You will loop a rubber band around two fixed points. For this demonstration, I'll use my fingers. So loop the rubber band, so. Then you take your paddle, put it between the rubber band, and wind up the paddle. Okay.
That's potential energy.
Then I'll let go of the paddle and see what happens. The rubber band unwinds and the paddle spins. That's kinetic energy.
So figuring out how to put a rubber band between two fixed points will be part of your challenge today.
The other part of the challenge will be designing the boat itself. It has to float and be buoyant, and it needs to be waterproof. Keep that in mind when you're doing your design.
Now let's talk about the engineering design process. This is how engineers do their work. First, you identify the problem. In this case, it's how you can design and build a boat that paddles itself using a rubber band. The next thing you do is brainstorm. What are all the possible ideas that you could try? Then you design. And it's always a good idea at this stage to sketch out your ideas to see what they might look like.
Then it's time to build. When you have a prototype ready, you can test and evaluate. Does it work? If it doesn't work, what needs to change to make it work better? Then you redesign, rebuild, and test again.
If at first you don't succeed, try again. That's the engineering motto.
And here's some of the materials you can use to build your boat. We're using some paper cups, like a 9-ounce paper cup. Paper cup is a good idea. It's easy to cut and mold with it. We have wooden skewers or pencils to use for your fixed point. We have plastic straws that you can use to maybe reinforce your design. That's a good idea. Cardboard that you can find around the house, like the back of a pad of paper or maybe a piece of corrugated cardboard from an Amazon box. Anything that's handy. And we have, of course, rubber bands. And you want a few rubber bands because different thicknesses, different stretchability, different sizes. You're not sure which one will work. You want to try a couple of different ones. And finally, duct tape to help put your design actually together.
Now let's talk about safety. Before engineers start any project, they always discuss safety. In this hands-on challenge, be careful of the skewers and the scissors because they have pointy ends. And also, since you'll be around water, if you have any puddles while testing your boat, please make sure you have an old towel around to wipe up those spills immediately. Water can be slippery, and we wouldn't want anyone getting hurt while doing this challenge. Okay, now it's time to brainstorm and design. So I think if we take the cup and we just cut it in half and then put the two halves together, it would be like a canoe. So it might look something like this as the boat body.
Well, I think I might just use the cup as is. This would be the front of my boat, and that would be the whole boat body.
Okay. Well, then how would you keep water from rushing in the back?
Well, one idea might be to take another cup, cut it down, and fit it inside so that it would kind of cap the end. It would sort of look like this. I drew a sketch earlier. You'd have one cup inside the other cup. Another idea would be to basically put duct tape across the bottom so that water doesn't get in.
Okay. And I guess another idea would be to just put two cups together,
right,
like that, right?
Kind of
Just
look like
have
this.
that-
You
just have that
tape
in
the
the
two
boat.
cups together.
Okay, so lots of possibilities. So that's the body of the boat. Now we need to think about how we would attach the two fixed points to the boat to put the rubber band between.
And that's a bit trickier because you want the fixed points, which you can put a rubber band around, you want them to be parallel to each other and extend away from the boat.
Right, right. So that if we put those on the boat in that direction, for example, then they're really going to come closer and closer together.
And almost cross each other.
Yeah, they'll almost cross each other.
Yeah.
So then there's not any room in the middle for the paddle to spin freely.
Well, one idea would be to have them go out from the boat. Now, they might be a little far apart. Depends on the rubber band you use. It would kind of look like this, where they're going inside the boat.
Okay.
Another thought might be to take like your pencils, for example, and you could pierce through the bottom of the boat. It would look like that. And that way, because they're in the bottom of the boat, they'd be parallel. The thing you'd want to do if you're doing something like that, though, is you want to be sure that when you put the rubber band on, it doesn't pull the two things together. And what you can do with that is maybe take your straw and attach your straw to the tips so that, as you can see, here's my cup, here's my paddle, and they keep these things parallel because they're attached to 2 points to the straw. It keeps them apart, and that way it's clear for the paddle to spin and propel your boat.
Okay. All right. So lots of ideas. I think it's time to build.
To save time today, we have a few boats almost ready to go.
Okay, so my idea was to take the cup and cut it in half and then put the two ends together, much like a canoe. And so that's what I did. I put duct tape around it to seal it so that it becomes waterproof. And then as I thought about my fixed points, I realized that as I extend these skewers towards the end of my boat, that it's going to be a problem. That's not a big enough space for the paddle to spin freely. So what I decided to do is use the straws to create little bumpers, and I went ahead and sealed those up, and then I went ahead and attached them to my boat, and then I was able to get some good spacing between my skewers so that when I put the paddle in and wind up the rubber band, full of potential energy of course, it would spin freely.
Cool. Well, for mine, I started with the cup, and I took another cup and cut the top off. And that way I can fit this inside the cup, and that creates a seal so water won't really get into the cup and make it sink. Then, with this idea as my cup inside, I took pencils, in my case, and attached the pencils to the cup. And I did it in this direction. Remember, my boats go in this direction, this way, so these are behind. And because they went the angle, they're wide enough apart that there's room for the paddle. Now, a word on the paddle. If you use just a piece of cardboard and cut that, it will get wet the first time you try to use it, and it won't work. So what we did is we covered our piece of cardboard with duct tape, which makes it pretty waterproof. So that way it's nice and strong, it should work. Then you put it inside, in my case, and you do have to make sure your paddle fits the width you have of your boat. So I put mine in there and paddle the boat.
All right, so here's the fun part. It's time to test them. Now we're going to use our bathtub with about 2 inches of water in it. You could use your bathtub to test, or you could use a large storage tub with about 2 inches of water in it, or a large sink, or even a dish pan just to try out to see if your boat floats and if it starts moving with the paddle. All right, let's go test.
Let's go. All right, so I wind it toward me. So it goes the other way, the direction I want the boat to go. I'm going to like release it. Okay. Okay, so mine really turns right away. It doesn't go straight. So it could be because my paddle's this way and the front of the boat's that way. So maybe my boat's a little crooked. Or maybe something I could try to fix, make it a little more straight. But
all right, let's take a pause and fix it.
Okay, so I've reattached my fixed points, my sticks, my pencils to hopefully straighten the boat out a little bit. Now I'm going to retry this again. And then turning it towards me so the paddle goes in the direction I want the boat to go. All right. Oops. Okay, much straighter, but I didn't have it wound up very much. So at least I got the boat going straighter. All right, so last time I didn't wind it up very far. Plus I gave myself a little bit bigger paddle. See if that gives me a little more oomph. So I'm going to wind it up a little more than I did last time. This is storing up all my energy here. All right, let's try it again. In the water, and
all right, there
okay,
it
it's going much straighter.
goes.
So it clearly got much straighter now that I've realigned the parallel sticks.
And a lot more energy. Okay, so I'm going to try my open canoe design. I'm going to spin the paddle, spin the rubber band. All right, that seems like a lot. I don't know. A little worried here. Let's see. Go, 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 go. I think I'm going to try another rubber band. Okay, this time I'm trying a little thicker rubber band. That other rubber band, maybe I spun it too much. Seemed to get deformed. So let's see if this one has a little bit more power, a little bit more kick. It spun itself out way too fast. I'm going to try that one more time.
Go.
Okay, so I was thinking it wasn't just my rubber band that was causing me problems. As I looked at the replay, my skewers were getting pulled in tightly. So I thought that what I could do instead is use a plastic straw as a strut to hold the skewers apart and to keep them more parallel. So let's see whether or not that's going to do a good job in terms of my boat movement. So remember to wind it towards you. All right, let's put it down. Go, 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 go. All right, much better. That was fun, and we found some designs that worked. Here are a few final thoughts. Part of the fun of these challenges is finding other ways to make the boat be better and go faster. For example, you could have a three-dimensional paddle, this X-shaped paddle, instead of a flat paddle by adding fins. You could put more than one paddle on the back of the boat. In this particular design, there's enough room between the skewers that you could put a paddle here and a paddle here. Or you could make a raft-type boat, and in this case, you could put a paddle in the front or the paddle in the back. So don't just stop when you have something that works. Take it to the next level.
I think being hands-on is important, especially if you want to be an engineer. By being hands-on, I learned to use tools properly, and I better understood my materials. It helped me to brainstorm better ideas. And over time, I improved my problem-solving skills. It helps you turn your thoughts into action. So don't shy away from digging in and being hands-on.
The instructions for this activity, Paddle Power, can be found on the Design Squad Global website. You can find lots of other hands-on challenges there too. We enjoyed making this video for you, and we hope you enjoyed watching it. Now go out and build something and be an engineer.